I was born in California, but I was lucky enough to move to Europe when I was 3. I lived in Europe until I was 16. And when I was a child living in northern Italy and seeing all these amazing little cars and rally cars going by. And then also growing up watching DTM in the heydays of the 90s. So that's where a lot of my car passion started.
Welcome to One Lap Heroes. Look at the setting here. Not only we have great weather, not only we are at the studio, not only we are at the Nürburgring, but I am surrounded by a couple of cool things. You are not a thing, but you are my friend Ace, and I have a cool white Ford behind me, which is not just a cool white Ford. The car, of course, is from 1982, so quite a classic car. We like them at One Lap Heroes, and I think we should push them a little bit more. Let me know about that in the comments. And in this bombshell, I think I just let him explain why this is not just a white Ford. What is the name of this car? I know it's quite complicated.
The name is quite long, but this is a 1982 Ford Capri Works Turbo V6 Zakspeed Widebody. One of only 77 left.
There you have it.
Hello, my name's Ace, and this is my 1982 Ford Capri Works Turbo Zakspeed Widebody. I bought this car in Czechia, and I drove it all the way through part of Poland here to Germany in Nürburgring. And I just finished a lap in it. It was an amazing experience, and it's a beautiful car and extremely rare. One of only 77 left. One of the things that make this car very rare, it was built to celebrate Zakspeed winning the DTM championship in 1982. So this car is a non-intercooled, carbureted, turbo 2.8 liter V6. So it just has a plenum with a couple of cooling fins, and that's all there is for cooling for the turbo side of the engine. And as you can see, it has a lovely wide body. It's a factory wide body with a factory splitter and wing. The other thing that's unique about it is it's actually a factory square wheel setup, so 13x8s with 235/60/13s, which is, as I'm sure you know, almost impossible to find. So there's only one manufacturer in England that actually remakes these tires specifically for old rally cars. The other thing I love about this car is just the look of it. It has such an amazing vintage, wide body touring car look, and it's something I've always wanted as a Capri. And to get one of the rarest ones that were ever made in such original condition in white, I can't believe it. I feel utterly blessed, honestly. Let me open up the engine bay. So most people that see this car think it's a 4-cylinder car that's turboed, but it's actually a 2.8 liter Cologne V6 with a turbo. As you can see, the plenum has some cooling fins, but that's the only thing that actually does cooling for the turbo. The engine does have an additional oil cooler, and that's all there is for cooling. And as I mentioned earlier, it does have a 2-barrel carburetor attached to the turbo, which is also amazing. The other thing I love about this car is how low the engine is. If you look at the top of the engine compared to the top of the wheels, it's just barely above the wheels and tire package. The other thing is nice as well is where the engine is located in the engine bay. As you can see, it's almost behind the center line of the front wheels. So this car is very balanced and a wonderful thing to drive. And it's quite lovely on the road and driving quickly on back roads as well. So let me show you the interior of the car. It's quite interesting and quite 80s, to say the least. I love the velour, the original seats. All the interior is original, the headliner is original, the dash and all the gauges work. I love the dash as well. I love that the fact that it has 6 different gauges and it's so simple. This car is a 4-speed car, which is also lovely. There are a couple of interesting things about this car. It actually has a locking diff from the factory and it comes stock on Bilsteins. It's really hard to see in photos and video, but if you come and look at this angle here, the fender sticks out quite a bit on the front and also the rear. The fender flare actually starts at the door gap and it comes out to the point the farthest out from the edge of the car above the wheel, and then it comes back in, and you can really follow the body line here. You can really see how wide body this car actually is. The other thing I love is the front end. The combination of the splitter, and also I love the fact that the hood or bonnet, depends on where you're from, is partially covering the headlights. I think it's just a wonderful look that just looks aggressive and very period 80s. The script also is amazing. These are original. Identifying the car as a turbo, which is absolutely amazing as well. I must say the 4-point wheels, the original RS wheels, 13x7s are lovely. If you come around the back, one of the things that really set this car apart as well is the rear wing. It's actually a 2-element wing made out of this very unique rubber. And I can't believe that it's survived since 1982 in this kind of condition. Look at it. If you're a car guy, how could you not love this? I did an RCN race. It was the first race I did here. I remember it was really funny. I did the whole race myself, but they made me get out of the car halfway through, shut the door, open the door, get back in. So that would be fair because most people do RCN with 2 drivers. But that was when I really started to learn the Nürburgring, was when I did the RCN race myself and for 2 hours of track time here. That was more valuable than anything for me when it comes to learning this place. After this, I got my B permit and I raced in the very popular, and it's kind of unfortunate, it's kind of gone away now, but I raced the BMW 235 IR, or racing in Europe was called. I raced for a few different teams and I proceeded to get my A permit. And that's how it really started to get more serious once I got my A permit and I started racing GT3 and GT4 cars. If you've never been to the Nürburgring and trying to sum it up in one word, I would say challenging and beautiful. It's a place that if you don't respect it, you'll end up in a wall. But if you respect it and you have patience, it will treat you well. I love this place.